everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Talkoffame podcast. I'm super excited to introduce you to Sophia Haddad. Sophia is a Miss South Lake scene and an advocate for lead by example. Thank you so much, Sophia, for taking the time to chat with us today. I'm super excited to chat with you.
Of course. Thank you for having me on. I'm so excited to share with all your listeners.
Definitely. So if people are not familiar with kind of your work, like tell us kind of more about you and the work you do, because I know you do so many things.
Thank you. Well, of course, you know who I am and my title. And I'd really say my work for me stems in community service. That's the reason I got into the Miss America organization. And one of my favorite things to do is do my school program with Connecting to Community. And Connecting to Community is my community service initiative. It is all about staying safe when you're online and using those online experiences to better your in-person ones and truly just fostering positive community all around. But yeah, I'd really have to say my work stems from just being in my community, being involved. And if that's highlighting small businesses or going to events, whatever it is, I am there.
No, it sounds right to save a my alley because like with me, I'm always doing something in the community. I always going to small businesses and if you ever see me on social media, I'm always somewhere. I'm always somewhere here and locally. But um what is like your favorite business or something that you like to go to on your free time?
Oh, that is hard because I have really met some amazing ones. So I have a series and I started when I was Miss Frisco's teen last year and it was called Frisco Fridays. And I really just set out like I just want to meet about five small businesses because for me, if I'm wearing the sash across my chest with the name of a city, I want to actually know that city. So I
Mhm.
was like, let me just try out a few, just kind of go in and say hi. And I went to Batch Bakery in Frisco, Bittersweet Ivy, which is a boutique there. And then once I became a South Lakes teen, I transferred that over to the amazing city of South Lake, and I met a lot of good ones. So I'm gonna give Batch a shout out. I love the people who own it. They are so sweet, and some of their baked goods are amazing. The Style Concierge in Frisco is really great, and Crisp and Green in South Lake has the best Caesar salads. So those would be three of my favorites.
Ooh, if I ever go to South Lake, I definitely go to those places. It sounds so good. Like literally,
Yes.
I'm already dying to eat those things.
They are amazing. And I will say Crispin Green is a sponsor of the Miss South Lake organization, and we love them. They treat us amazing. And every time I have an appearance out there, that is the place I hit up for lunch.
Ooh, now you're making me die to go there. Oh my gosh. Like so maybe Pennsylvania doesn't have that. Like where I am, is I'm in northeastern PA. So they don't
Okay.
have that here and around this area. So like once I go to that area, I'm like, okay, that's the first place I'm gonna go. But as you said earlier, you started kind of like an initiative called Connecting to Community, which is meant to empower tech users to protect themselves emotionally, neurologically, and physically when online and on social media. How does connecting to a community empower tech users to protect themselves, whether online or even in person as well?
So, one of my goals with that is when you foster a positive community online, I truly believe that that's going to affect how you act in person. We know so much of what we see on social media, what we see online, it truly affects us emotionally and how we present ourselves to the world. So, my idea is if I am leading by example, if I'm showing people that I can use social media in a positive, uplifting way, supporting my sister queens, supporting these small businesses, talking about the benefits of the Miss America organization, I believe that that will transfer over into my personal life and that I can actually use those positive ways in person. So I really want to show others that if I can do it, you can do it too. And it's not a mutually exclusive thing to have a great experience in real life with someone and on social media.
I love that. Because I know with social media, I'm sure if you does as well, but with social media, it can be both like amazing, but also horrible at the same time. Because like, of course, with social media, you can connect with friends, like you don't see in a while, like just connect with other people at the same time. Like also, social media can be a place where like people hate on you for no reason for what you post,
Yes.
what you say. Or whatever you're out in the media, whatever like with Miss America or something you're putting yourself out there so everyone sees what you're doing and what you put out there. And of course, nothing leaves the internet. So that's
Yes.
really the worst part about it. But if you like what is kind of like the one thing you kind of learned when with doing this initiative?
I have learned a lot, I have to say. So it's hard to pick one, but I'd have to go back to the work I've done in classrooms. So I was really those kids on how to stay safe digitally. So I finished this book and I always do kind of a question time with the kids as well as what did you learn from the book and things of that nature. And I was talking and one of the little girls raised her hand and she goes, Miss Sophia, can I tell you a question? And so I really thought this was going to be like something really chill or about like her favorite social media app. And she told me a story about one of the times that she was on, I believe, Roblox or a game. She had death threats and a lot of just mean comments thrown at her. And she was only 7 or 8 years old.
Oh my God.
And from those experiences that I had in classrooms, because once she spoke up, there were, I would say, out of all the students I talked to, half of them shared experiences with me of very similar moments and instances happening to them. And that just struck me and really made me say, okay, this is something that I have to keep speaking about. We have to keep going because kids so young are on these social media apps without controls or without things to protect them and they're getting harmed by it and they're being attacked for it for absolutely no reason. So I think what I've really learned is just in that sense of leading by example, I have to walk the walk and talk the talk. If I'm telling kids to stay safe online, that I'm keeping myself safe as well. And just promoting that to people because a lot of young children are suffering and they don't want to speak out about it on social media.
That's honestly like with dealing with social media. Hey, at 7 or 8 years old, like I
I
couldn't
know.
imagine. Like at 7 or 8 years old, like I really was on social media at 7 years
Same
old.
here. I was probably watching like American Girl YouTube videos and
I
like Barbie
know,
videos.
or even just watching Full House on TV or one of
Yes,
like my favorite
literally
shows growing up. This I was mostly a TV girl for some reason,
same.
but like I couldn't just imagine like getting hate at 7 or 8 years old playing a game that you love and enjoy. Like that's
It's
like it's
it's
awful.
wild.
But like, what are kind of some pros and cons to kind of protecting ourselves on and off social media?
So, of course, I'm going to shoot for the pros here because that's my CSI. But honestly, one of the biggest things is just safety all around. When I talk about staying safe physically, emotionally, neurologically, it is truly going to help you just have a better life in general. You're staying happy, you're staying healthy, you're avoiding a lot of mental health issues that could be caused from overuse of social media. You're keeping yourself safe because you're not seeing as many fake things online when it comes to physically. Facetune is a big thing right now. And I've really tried to stay away from those types of apps as a title holder, but you can see things online of someone's body or how they look that isn't real, and then try and compare
Mhm.
yourself to that. And I think that is something really big right now that we have to discuss more. So I think things like that, you're definitely going to keep yourself safe if you're implementing actionable boundaries. And I really don't see any cons, but I understand, especially as a teenager, I think we kind of think we know everything and we got this covered. And we don't need parental controls. Like I'm not on Instagram too long, but you are and you don't notice it. And I think that's why it's good sometimes to admit that I do need help. I do need another step in place to keep me safe. And I think once you do that, it will really transfer over.
Yeah, like I know with social media, like I know with me, I'm always on social media for some reason. I'm having like a big social
No,
media
same
session,
here.
and I do realize like, okay. I'm always on social media. Is that a good or bad thing? It's both. Like
Yeah.
sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But with social media, like with how like with also like Photoshop or also like face like those apps where you basically edit the picture, making yourself look better. And you can see which is fake and not. Like because I know a lot of influencers and content creators and everything use us so often that it's very easy to see like it's very easy because of course with all these after my Al, for example, that's coming out, it's very easy for people to realize, okay, this is edited, it's not real.
Yes, and so I love it. So I'm gonna be on Lightroom adding colors and turning up my saturation. But I think for me, it's been important to really take that step back and be like, you know what? If I'm going to, maybe I need to share that because the sky maybe wasn't really that blue that day. But it's more important for me to be like, okay, I don't want to look completely different on social media because who I present as is who I want to be and who I want people to see me as. And especially as a title holder, I think so many times pageants have this unfair stereotype, and the Miss America organization has this stereotype of not being who you say you are, putting on all this makeup to go to this appearance and trying to hide yourself. And I think that really goes only furthest from the truth. I think Miss America is one of the organizations that really promotes sisterhood and authenticity. And I think when we're hiding on social media, we're taking that away. So I really love the transparency of being like, this is who I am. This is the day I had a pimple on my face, but I had a great time at this appearance, and you're going to see it all.
Yeah, because I know like a lot of social media events, every like people love to really just promote their best selves, not their worst selves, or what they
Yes.
look like without makeup on. Because of course, when you go to an event or something, you have full blows of makeup on, like you barely see your real face, like like with and you don't want to
Yeah.
hide that because you're like, oh, I don't want people to think I'm ugly or if this people seeing people differently, but you like posting yourself without makeup. I know a lot of people posting themselves on a lot of makeup, like with no makeup on. And I'm like, you have so much courage. Like I could never.
Thank you.
Like I could
I
never
don't,
do that.
I could will say I did one post where I had no makeup on in the start of like a makeup transformation video. And I remember I've only been on Instagram for about 2 years as a title holder. So I remember when I first did that video, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm actually gonna post with no makeup on. But I will say moments like that were like, you know what? It's okay to not constantly look completely perfect or filtered or whatever it may be, because that's not real. And as title holders, we have to promote being real and being our authentic selves. So, especially when I went on a trip to California last year and I shared some photos from that, I only had like mascara on and I was proud of that because it's awesome to show both sides of the days I get to have my makeup professionally done or full glam at an event. And then also the days where I'm just me chilling with just mascara or maybe some, lip smacker, and that's all.
Yeah, that's all. You don't need too much to make yourself look confident. Like sometimes I just go
Absolutely.
out to like get a haircut or something and have nothing on. And I'm just like, why should I have makeup on if I'm just going somewhere for about an hour, then take it off for no reason, put it on.
Absolutely.
But of course, like you ran or Miss Salt Lake's team, like of course you ran a couple pageants before, but why did you
Yeah.
decide to compete for Miss Salt Lake's team?
Yes. So I honestly, this year coming back, so I competed at Miss Texas Teen. I was fourth runner up, which was just a wild experience. I'm so
Mhm.
blessed for as Miss Briscoe's teen. And so I knew coming back to the organization this year, I really wanted to make sure I was being just completely myself and with an organization I felt best represented me and would best prepare me for the job of Miss Texas Teen and then hopefully Miss America's Teen. So I really kind of sat down and I got to speak with Danae Couch and Bryce Couch, who are my two incredible directors. And I went and got coffee with Danae a few weeks after Miss Texas and just sat down with her and told her, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm hoping to do. And we just talked through everything. And she was just absolutely incredible and made me feel so secure in our prep for Miss Texas and how I'd get to serve the city of Southlake. And then just knowing other former Miss Southlake's teens, Summer Owens and J Bell Kimbrell, and getting to speak with them, I was like, this is the place for me. This is the title. So I just went into the competition with an open mind, an open heart, and authenticity at the forefront. And I walked away with the crown and new Sister Queens. And it's just been amazing.
Yeah, always something different. Like there's always like just something that always leads you to like of course a new pageant or whatever, like you with our work job or just your career field is always a big factor. Like there's many things I did in my life that led me to
Yes.
where I am. Like there's always something. But how was kind of like this pageant different from the last like pageants that you did?
I will say the number one thing was being myself. And if you know any pageant girl, the one thing they will say is once I was myself, I started to see those crowns, I started to see those sashes. And it is so cliche, but it is so true. I remember at state, I kind of went in like, I need to be myself, but also, what do the judges want? And I think that always hinders your ability to just show them your authentic self. So when I went into my South Lake interview, I was like, here I am, take it or leave it. If I flub a word, if I say something I didn't mean to say, oh well, we're just going to go be real. And I walked out of that interview so confident, so content with what I had done. At the end of the night, I went overall interview and I was like, okay, so being yourself is the way to go, just being real. So I will definitely say I walked away from that competition so much more confident than I had been prior to, just because I realized all the hard work and just being who I am really did pay off.
That is like I so accurate because of course I know with a lot of pageant people like they love to just put a fake face to win or to kind of get a different vibe off the judges or the directors or whoever's running it. Like I know with a lot of people online they're like okay they're so happy like they're cheering but inside or when they go home they're like I just want to go to bed. Like I'm so
Yeah.
miserable. Like with me, I'm literally have those two moods all the time. I'm just like, yeah, I'm so happy. Then I'm like, us, I'm just done with myself. Like this
Yeah.
is done.
Well, to even add to that, at Miss Texas, and especially during finals night, once I made top five, like there was nothing but smiles on my faces. I mean, once I made top 10, there was nothing but smiles. So all the photos you'll see from that night are just beautiful. But I will tell you, after we said our names and we said our introductions right before we called the top 12, I'm walking up the steps to the podium and I completely face planted in front of everyone. But luckily, all the girls were standing in front of me. So I just go down. And if you watch the pageants live video, so many of my sweet sisters are like just dying laughing. And they're like, oh my gosh, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm good. It's fine. So that really to me showed the honesty of pageants. I was like the next second when I got called, I was smiling and on the verge of tears. But if you didn't see before that, you would never know that I completely face planted in my adorable opening number outfit and high heels.
Oh my gosh, I cannot imagine like how doing that. But hey, at least you went up and back and did it though. That's the most important thing.
Right? I mean, at least there were no bruises because we had fitness right after that and we were in shorts. And I was like, just please let there be no bruises. Like, that's all I
Like
need
that's all I
right
want. You
now.
can be bruises later, but not right now,
Yes. I'm like,
please.
just not now. I'll break a leg, but like later, not now.
That I'm like this is the most important thing in my life. Like if I have a bruise, this is gonna be the ending game for me.
Yes. Oh, and I feel like that's so real too. Like when you're at a pageant, you're like, everything else can happen later. Like if the earth is going to end tomorrow, it better be tomorrow because we have a pageant right now. Like you are so lasered in, you're so focused. So it's really important to have those funny moments. And I will say, falling on my hands and knees and almost face planting definitely was one of those moments where I was like, at the end of the day, this is a pageant. We're here to have fun with our sisters, and that's what matters.
Exactly. And I heard that you did a redemption of Jack Fina's Boogie, which I'm like, oh, like once I saw that, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to ask this question. But why, like, or how did you kind of choose to do that?
So I work with an amazing piano teacher at Parker Piano Studios in Fort Worth. Shout out to them. I have been with Julia Parker, my teacher, since I was 3 years old. So, and I can't fully say I loved piano at first. I was forced into it by my mom. And about 5 years in, I was like, thank God she put me in this because it is so incredibly fun. It's what I do on my off time when I'm practicing for Miss Texas. I just love it. But she brought that song to me because I just had no clue I was going to play first date. I had so many choices. I was like, do I do a pop? Do I do classical? Do I do a rock song? Like, what do I do for this? And one of her fellow teachers found it like in her mom's old piano book and was like, maybe y'all should just try it, see what happens. And she sent me the track, and I was like, there's no way I could play this song. This is so fast. This is so hard. But she really just reassured me. We took it so incredibly slow. And it's one of my favorite pieces I've ever played to this day. I'll go back and listen to it and be like, I cannot believe I got on stage and played it. I'll still play it every so often. It was a wild song choice, but I loved it. I'm really glad I got to do it. And I got rookie talent with it, which was just the most amazing experience.
Ooh, like did you sing too, or did you just play a piano?
So I take voice lessons, but I do not offer my singing abilities for anything. They are definitely not at the level of my piano. So I did not sing with it. I had been asked to do that, and I just completely said no, that was not for me. But I did play, so I did not get to sing.
I would do the exact same things. I'm such a horrible singer that I'm like, I do not want to embarrass myself in front of a couple thousand people or people watching.
I was like, I don't want to go back and watch this on Pageants Live and be like, I cannot believe I did that. So, yeah, I'm sticking to piano this year. I also dance, had an injury a few years ago, so we're getting back from that. But I was like, listen, I'll try and dance on stage, I'll play piano, but vocal, don't think that's where it's gonna work for me.
Yeah, I could dance and piano, but singing is a whole different level. But like what type of dance do you do? I'm curious.
Yeah, so also when I was 3, I started with ballet and I've done jazz, modern. I love like a contemporary lyrical. I've never gone to train in it, but I've just always loved that. But I have a condition, which is a femoral anteversion, which is a very big way to say my femurs, instead of facing completely forward, turn in just a little bit. And if you ever watched ballerinas or dancers, you'll know that a lot of what we do is in turnout. So I struggled with that for many, many years, got an injury from it, and then later realized what I had, and I've been building back from that. So that's definitely been a very interesting experience, a lot of dedication, discipline to come back from those experiences. But yeah, I love dance. Dance will always be my first love. It is something I love to do. So when opening number happens at Miss Texas, I am ready.
Yeah, like I love dance too. So once you said dance, I'm like, okay, now here's a different subject I have to add on. At least I
Oh
love
yeah.
dancing. So I'm like, this, I can talk about dance all day and every day, and it
Oh
would never
yeah.
be boring.
Yes, absolutely.
But before we head off, I wanted to ask you, like, what is some advice for girls or women that want to get involved in pageants?
I would say specifically for the Miss America organization, and this is kind of like a weird first one, but watch the competition because I think it really gives you a great idea of what you're getting yourself into. I know when I was going to do my first local, I watched some videos on Pageants Live of the girls and was like, oh, wow, this is amazing because these women, they're so intelligent, they're so eloquent, but they also look amazing in fitness, amazing in gown, have these amazing talents. They're just all around amazing. So I just think that's really great to first kind of know what you're getting yourself into and feeling prepared. And honestly, reach out to girls who have done it, whether it is the girl who represents your hometown, your state title holder, local directors, because I think it's just great to have that all around idea of what you're going to be doing, what you're getting yourself into, and hearing advice from them. Because some of the best advice I feel like I've gotten for interview, for different things, has been from girls who have done it. But trust yourself, know you can do it, know you are exactly where you need to be, and that go into that interview room and just show them who you are. Because I think when you are, as I've said many times, authentically you, it truly translates and it's someone that people will love.
That's some great advice. And that's honestly the most important thing is being yourself. That's
Yeah.
something a lot of people struggle with. And especially in pageants, they want to put on a face to really just, win the competition. But especially in Miss America, a lot of people are looking for people that are actually themselves. And they,
Yes, that
people
is.
oftentimes be like, okay, this person's faking or this person's actually themselves. Like, it's very easy to figure out, okay, is this person themselves or is it fake? Like, it's very easy.
Yes, it reads. So don't try and be anyone you think the judges want because at the end of the day, and that's okay. I will add that too. The judges are rooting for you. I think it is so easy to imagine the judges as like these big, scary people who are
Mm.
deciding your fate for the evening, and it is completely further from the truth. Some of the judges have been the nicest people ever. So just know that they want you to do amazing. They want you to do well, and they want to give you a crown. They just want to make sure you're ready for that job.
And where can people find you on social media if they want to connect with you?
Yes. So on Instagram at Miss Southlake's Teen or at Miss Southlake Teen TX, those are both of my accounts. So you can go follow me there. And then on Facebook, it should be at Sophia Haddad. I think that's all the socials I have for right now. I've not ventured into TikTok yet. So
Yeah, if you need help with any TikTok, I'm your girl. I'm a pro. So if you need help, just let me
awesome.
know. But yeah, make sure everyone to go follow for her. She's amazing. Her work is the work she's doing is absolutely awesome. And I hope
Thank
everyone
you.
enjoys today's episode. Make sure to subscribe, review, or whatever how much things are on YouTube or Spotify or Apple Podcasts. I hope everyone enjoys the rest of your day. And thank you so much, Sophia, for taking the time.
Thank you so much. This was awesome.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.